Have you ever had that feeling where you're doing everything right in a relationship, listening to advice, respecting her space, trying to be the nice guy, even showing your true self, yet somehow it still falls apart? You're left, scratching your head, frustrated, maybe even heartbroken, wondering what went wrong. What if I told you that most of what you've been taught about attracting women is completely backwards? That the so-called rules you've been following might actually be pushing you further away from success? Today, I'm going to reveal the real truth. I'm talking about the hidden weaknesses. Every woman has the ones they rarely admit out loud. But every man absolutely needs to understand. These insights can change everything you thought you knew about dating and attraction. So stick with me, because this isn't just another video filled with cliches. This could be the turning point you've been waiting for. If you're ready to absorb every second of this and commit to watching until the end, type "I am ready" down in the comments. Trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming next. Let's be honest, the dating game isn't fair. And it certainly isn't rigged in your favor. You've probably noticed that the men who effortlessly draw women in aren't the ones following conventional advice. They don't play by the rules, because they understand something most men don't. Women aren't purely logical or predictable, the way you've been led to believe. The truth is, their attraction is rooted in emotion, and here's the kicker. They don't always even know why they're drawn to certain men. It happens almost instinctively. That's exactly what I'm here to uncover today. We're going to break down the 10 biggest weaknesses every woman has, and more importantly, I'll show you how to use this knowledge the right way. Not to manipulate or take advantage, but to finally understand the psychology of attraction and to use it to create deeper, stronger, and more meaningful connections. No outdated advice that doesn't work anymore. What you're about to hear is raw, it's real, and it might hit harder than you expect. So buckle up. If you're already feeling the value of this message, hit that like button right now. And if you're serious about becoming the kind of man who thrives in today's dating world, make sure to subscribe for more honest insights that actually work. Supporting this channel helps us keep delivering content that matters. So if you want to take it one step further, consider joining our membership community to keep us independent and strong. Now, let's get straight into it. Weakness number 1. The steadfast man. In today's world, women are bombarded with options every single day, messages flooding their DMs, compliments from strangers, and dating apps offering a never-ending buffet of potential matches. With all these choices, why do so many men still fail? The answer is simple: inconsistency. Most men don't stick to their word. They flake. They disappear. They quit when things get tough. And guess what? Women notice. They've been conditioned to expect disappointment, to expect men to vanish after a few dates or even a few months. This makes them cautious, even guarded. But here's the brutal truth. When a man proves himself to be consistent, reliable, and firm in his actions and words, he instantly sets himself apart from the rest. Being steadfast isn't just about showing up on time, it's about showing up fully, no matter what. And that, my friend, is where the real difference begins. Stability means you don't just talk about what you'll do, you actually do it, without hesitation, without excuses. In today's dating world, where so many men are unreliable, indecisive, and quick to disappear, the man who follows through becomes like a lighthouse in the middle of a stormy sea. Imagine how refreshing it feels to a woman when she finally meets someone she can count on. And it all begins with the small, everyday things. If you tell her you'll text later, send that message. If you promise you'll call her at a certain time, be right on schedule. Being steadfast doesn't mean being stiff or overly controlling. It means being dependable. The kind of man who shows with his actions that his words carry weight. In a world where people ghost at the first sign of inconvenience, reliability becomes one of the most attractive and irresistible traits you can bring to the table. Which brings us to the second weakness: confidence. You've heard it a million times. Confidence is attractive. But what does that really mean? True confidence isn't about being arrogant, loud, or trying to dominate the room. Real confidence is quieter, more powerful. It's the deep, unshakable belief that you are enough exactly as you are. That's what makes it magnetic. And in today's world, where so many men constantly chase validation, this kind of inner assurance is rare. Think about it. Women have their own insecurities. They worry about how they look, how others perceive them, whether they measure up. When she encounters a man who doesn't need her approval to feel good about himself, who isn't swayed by outside opinions, it feels like breathing fresh air after being stuck in a crowded room. That calm, steady confidence signals security and That's why women are naturally drawn to it. The mistake most men make is tying their confidence to external things, their career, their looks, their social circle. But what happens if those things disappear? Suddenly, their entire sense of worth collapses. True confidence can't be taken away, because it comes from within. It's built on knowing your value, regardless of circumstances. With this kind of confidence, rejection doesn't break you. Setbacks don't shake you. And a woman's opinion, while it might matter, doesn't define you. Start by keeping small promises to yourself, setting goals and actually achieving them. Every little win builds your self-trust, and that's the foundation of real confidence. Remember, confidence doesn't mean you're flawless. It means you embrace your imperfections and still stand tall. When you own who you are, flaws and all, women can feel that authenticity, and that's what makes it irresistible. Now, let's move to weakness number 3. Ambition is one of the most powerful forces a man can have. In a world where settling for just good enough is the norm, ambition shines like fire in the dark. It's the trait that shows you're not content with drifting through life, reaching, striving, pushing to become more. And women notice it immediately. Here's the truth. Ambition doesn't have to mean you're chasing millions of dollars or working 80 hours a week. It means you have direction. You're pursuing goals. You're growing, and you refuse to settle. Women are naturally drawn to men with ambition because it signals purpose. And being with a man who has purpose makes her feel like she's part of something greater, something that moves forward instead of standing still. But here's where most guys mess up. They say they're ambitious, but never back it up. Words alone don't carry weight. You have to show it. Whether through your career, your personal development, or even the way you approach your hobbies, ambition must be visible in your actions, because in the end, ambition isn't about perfection. It's about progress. It's about showing, every day, that you're moving forward. That means setting both short-term and long-term goals. They don't have to be extravagant or unrealistic, but they should challenge you enough to push beyond your comfort zone. Maybe it's working toward a promotion at your job, finally learning a new skill you've been putting off, or committing to getting in shape. What matters most is that you're moving forward, step by step, showing steady progress. When a woman sees that kind of drive in you, she naturally wants to be part of your journey, because progress is magnetic. Now, let's talk about weakness number 4, the bad boy. Ah, yes, the infamous bad boy. Women are drawn to him like moths to a flame. But here's the twist. It's not because he's rude or disrespectful. It's because he carries traits that are undeniably irresistible: unpredictability, mystery, and control over his emotions. The bad boy doesn't live by other people's rules. He doesn't apologize for who he is. And he certainly doesn't bend over backward to meet every demand a woman places on him. And that's exactly what makes him so attractive. Women don't truly want a man they can completely control. Deep down, they crave someone who keeps them guessing. A man with his own priorities, his own life, his own path. What makes the bad boy stand out is how he creates emotional highs and lows. He brings excitement, that intoxicating mix of unpredictability and thrill, and the sense that he's always just slightly out of reach. That's the spark that keeps women coming back for more. But here's the important part. You don't need to be cruel or act like a jerk to capture those same qualities. Instead, focus on mystery and emotional independence. Don't reveal every single thing about yourself right away. Keep some parts of your life private. Don't always be available the second she calls or texts. Let her wonder what you're doing, where you are, and who you're with. That little bit of intrigue is what keeps her hooked. And above all, practice emotional control. If she's upset, don't lose your cool. Stay calm and collected. If she's happy, enjoy the moment, but don't get carried away as if your whole mood depends on hers. That self-control is what gives the bad boy his power. He remains grounded, no matter what. Which leads us straight into weakness number 5, ignored attention. Women do crave attention, but here's the truth. They don't truly value the attention they get easily. Think about it. In today's world, a woman can open her phone and instantly receive likes, comments, and messages from dozens, even hundreds of men. It's endless validation at her fingertips. And because it's so abundant, it loses meaning. That's why the man who doesn't immediately shower her with attention stands out. When you're not another guy blowing up her notifications, she notices. It drives her crazy, because suddenly your attention becomes scarce, and scarcity creates value. She's used to men fawning over her, so when she doesn't get that from you, she begins to wonder why. She starts chasing your attention, because it now feels rare and worth having. Here's the harsh truth. If you constantly text her, compliment her endlessly, or like every single one of her social media posts, you're devaluing yourself. Your attention becomes cheap. But if you step back and let her come to you, everything changes. Suddenly, your attention isn't free to earned. And when something is earned, it's valued much more. So stop giving away endless validation. Hold back. Let her work for it. And you'll see how much more she appreciates it. Because when your attention feels scarce, it becomes precious. And that brings us to the next weakness: pre-selection, a powerful psychological trigger that reveals why women are drawn to certain men almost instantly. It's called pre-selection. There's a very real reason why women often feel more attracted to men who are already in relationships or who are surrounded by other women. When a woman sees that other women desire you, it sparks something deep inside her mind, an instinct that whispers, "He must be valuable." It's the same principle behind why people are eager to buy things that are in high demand. If everyone wants it, it must be worth having. Pre-selection is powerful because it taps directly into a woman's competitive nature. When she notices you spending time with other attractive women, even if they're just friends, it immediately raises your status in her eyes. She begins to wonder, what is it about you that makes other women so drawn to you? And once that curiosity takes root, it often turns into desire. This is exactly why men who are already in relationships tend to attract even more female attention. It's not necessarily that women want to interfere or break things apart. Instead, they're subconsciously pulled toward the idea that if another woman finds this man desirable, then he must truly be someone worth noticing. That's why it's so important to surround yourself with high-value women in a platonic sense. When you interact confidently and naturally with women who are attractive, ambitious, or respected, it sends a clear signal. You are a man of value. And once a woman sees that others already view you that way, she can't help but start seeing you differently too. Now, let's move on to weakness number 7, masculinity. In today's world, masculinity often gets criticized or misunderstood. But the truth is, undeniable, women are biologically wired to feel attraction to masculine men. But let's clear something up. This doesn't mean being domineering, aggressive, or trying to control everything. True masculinity goes much deeper than that. It's about strength, both physical and emotional. It's about being a man who can protect, who can lead, and who makes her feel safe when life gets unpredictable. Masculinity is expressed through having a clear purpose, standing firm in your beliefs, and showing resilience when faced with challenges. Women are deeply drawn to men who know exactly who they are, and refuse to be easily swayed by outside noise. Think about it. In today's dating world, so many men are overly reactive. They get upset over small things, let circumstances dictate their mood, or worse, let women control how they feel. That instability is the opposite of what women crave. A truly masculine man, on the other hand, stays composed. He doesn't let rejection, setbacks, or unexpected changes throw him off balance. He remains calm, collected, and firmly in control of himself. That steadiness is what makes him magnetic. If you want to develop this energy, start by taking full responsibility for your life. Stop blaming circumstances, people, or bad luck for where you are. Be decisive. When challenges arise, face them head on without letting emotions cloud your judgment. Women want to feel that they are with a man who has control not only over his circumstances, but, most importantly, over himself. And when you embody this kind of masculinity, it naturally connects to another irresistible trait: charismatic leadership. Because women aren't just drawn to strength, they're also drawn to men who can guide, inspire, and lead with confidence. When you show leadership in your conversations and actions, something fascinating happens. She starts to feel more attracted to you. Why? Because she sees a man who can take charge, who makes things happen rather than waiting around. Leadership signals strength, confidence, and decisiveness, 3 qualities women find almost impossible to resist. So, the next time you're on a date, don't leave everything to chance. Take the lead. Plan the evening, decide where to go, and guide the flow of the conversation. Women naturally gravitate toward men who take control of situations. It gives them a sense of security, and more importantly, it makes them feel valued. When you confidently step forward as the leader, she'll follow your lead without even realizing it. But leadership alone is not enough. There's another quality, often overlooked yet incredibly powerful: emotional intelligence. Many men misunderstand this. They think emotional intelligence means being overly sensitive or dramatic. In truth, it's about something deeper. the ability to understand your own emotions and those of others. It's knowing when to listen, when to speak, and when to simply give space. Women are emotional beings, and they don't need you to fix every problem. Most men rush to give solutions when a woman shares her feelings, but that's not what she wants. She wants to be heard, to be understood. And when you give her that, you create a connection that most men will never experience. Emotional intelligence also means having control over your own emotions. A woman doesn't want a man who explodes at small setbacks or falls apart under pressure. She craves stability, one who can remain calm, collected, and composed no matter what life throws at him. The next time she's upset, try practicing active listening. Don't jump in with quick fixes. Instead, allow her to vent, acknowledge her feelings, and show empathy. That simple act can build trust and intimacy stronger than any grand gesture. Then, there's passion. Few things are as magnetic to a woman as a man who is deeply passionate. Whether it's your career, a personal project, or even a hobby, passion shows drive, purpose, and an energy that is simply irresistible. But here's the secret: you must pursue passion for yourself, not as a performance to impress her. Pretending doesn't work. Women can sense authenticity instantly when your passion is real. You don't need to chase women. They'll naturally be drawn to your fire. They'll want to join your journey, to be part of the mission you're so committed to. So, find that one thing that lights you up and give it your all. Whether it's building your business, mastering your craft, or pushing yourself in fitness, let that dedication shine through. When she sees how fully you live your life, she wants to be part of your world. And that brings us full circle. These are the 10 weaknesses every man must understand about women. Remember, this isn't about trickery or manipulation. It's about truly understanding female psychology so you can build stronger, deeper, and more meaningful connections. Most men will never get this. They spend their days chasing, seeking validation, and playing by the wrong rules. But now, you're different. You have the tools to flip the script, to create dynamics where women are drawn to you, naturally and effortlessly. If you found value in today's lesson, support Mind of Stoic by hitting that like button, and share in the comments which weakness surprised you the most. After uncovering these powerful truths about attraction and connection, there's one more step you can take if you truly want to transform your journey. If you want more raw, unfiltered advice just like this, make sure you hit that subscribe button to stay connected with Mind of Stoic. And if you feel inspired to go the extra mile, supporting not just yourself but also our mission to help men everywhere, consider joining the channel memberships. Every single contribution, no matter how small, helps us keep creating high-quality content that you simply won't find anywhere else. Think about it. Why keep playing by the same old rules that don't work? If you're ready to take control of your dating life, rewrite your story, and live by principles that truly make a difference, subscribe now to Mind of Stoic. Share this video with someone who needs this message. And if you want to support the movement even further, join our membership community. Your support is what keeps this vision alive and helps us reach more men who are searching for the guidance they've never been given. And together, we can change the way men approach life, love, and connections starting today.